Peterson here. Today we're going to talk about the grip or how you hold the racket. Now generally what I like people to do is I'd like them to grip the racket so that this line here, or this square line here, which is if the shaft was square, this is relatively square, but that line there, if that goes to the V of your hand. So therefore if I hold my hand, if I keep my feet straight, I hold my hand directly straight, the racket face is slightly open. Now that's open to the roof, that's what I call open. So what you do is, that's your forehand, for your backhand you merely turn your wrist back. So you see my wrist turns back this way. Now that opens up the racket face. So there's forehand, there's backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. So you don't need to change your grip. You don't have time in squash to change your grip. Now sometimes you may drop the grip shorter or longer or whatever, depending on where you are. If you're in the back corner you can go shorter so you can get it out a little bit. Or if you want to reach up the front, sometimes you can drop it out to there. But generally what will happen, I see so many players go around about here. And the reason is because they want to swat. They think to push the racket towards the front wall will give them the outcome. But what it does, it seriously affects their ability to get good at a later date because they can't go and cut the angle of the racket as well and so on. So it limits choices and ability later on. So if you can concentrate, if you can get grip correct right from the start, if you can push, so you have this line here to the V of your hand with the racket slightly open, even if you go dead straight up, it's not so bad. Then you've got all the makings or all the setup for serious racket ability and improvement throughout your squash career. So if we can aim to do that, keep your racket face open, the V goes through to there, and then it allows you to use this edge, which is what we talk about through all the videos and all the rest as well. It's a critical thing. And if you're doing it wrong, if you're holding the racket around here, then you need to go and change it and get it back to here. It's just one thing that you simply have to do to be able to achieve what I perceive as like a really quite high level standard player. Get the grip right from day one. If you haven't got it right, it'll affect your game for a little while, but do the work and change it so it is right, and then you'll move forward in leaps and bounds. Gary Peterson here. Today we're going to talk about your grip, and let's say that you hold your racket like a lot of people do. I see so many people that hold the racket like this, and the forehand when they come through it hits with a flat racket, they swat the ball in, and it's about trying to push the racket fast rather than use your body correctly and all the rest of it. Now the correct grip is out here, V here to this line, so you have an open face racket. Now there are other grips out there and all the rest of it, but generally let's talk about reaching quite quickly a good standard of play and giving you all the racket ability and everything with the ability to go and push the racket in the right directions. And that's what the correct grip will do, go this way. Now, if your grip is around here and you're going, well, to change that from there to there, that's like unbelievable. That's like, we're talking almost 45 degrees by the time you get around to there almost, that it's going to really push it. So the best way I've found to change people's grip is if they're currently here with their grip, what you do is you just move it around to there the next time they play and try and go from there for a tick, and then go around to there for a tick, and then around to there, and then eventually to there. So what I'm saying is, rather than do a massive change and get somebody to change from here and then change all the way around to here, the ball will spray around all over the joint and they'll feel hopeless. They'll feel like they're out of control. They won't enjoy the game for a while, and it'll be really tough. But if you can gradually change, and gradually change, and gradually change over a period of, let's say, 3 months, then you'll basically get the outcome that you're after. The other little tip I heard, which is really quite a good tip, and I was quite impressed with it, and it's not my tip, it's someone else's tip, which is good, was to, while you're watching television at home, grab the racket, hold it that way. And just hold your racket while you're watching television or whatever. And walk around the house with your racket, holding the grip correctly. And the reason that would work, I would suggest, is because your body needs a chance to get used to the racket and where it is and what the racket face does, and even the feel of the grip and all the rest of it. So the longer that you hold the grip in the correct place, the more reference your body will have with the racket as to where it is, exactly what it's doing and how it works. Now I know you're not hitting the ball. That's not really the real concern of it all. The deal is that your grip is in the correct place and you're consciously holding it in the correct place. So you'll get used to this feeling natural rather than it feeling so awkward. If I was to hold the racket around here, I'd go, you've got to be kidding me, that's terrible. But if that was the way you were supposed to play squash, I need to make that feel natural for it to start to be able to feel like it's part of my swing. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to get this to feel natural for somebody who is actually trying to better their squash and so on. So there you go. If your grip's around the wrong way, if it's around this way, just gradually move around, gradually move around, gradually move around over a period of about 3 months. It won't affect your game that much. It will actually have a slight effect on it here and there, but you should find that it'll actually aid you in certain areas and so on as well. That's how you change your grip, and I think it'll make a big difference to you.
Okay, we're going to take a look at changing your grip mid-rally. Now, some of the PSA players, they choose to change their grip only when the ball gets really, really tight. And this shouldn't be done, let's say, very often, only when you absolutely have to. So you don't want to go out there to actually make this a regular thing, because you do actually sacrifice power. You get pretty good control out of it, but you sacrifice a lot of power. And we'll take a bit more of a close-up look, but Joel Makin's been able to get this pretty deep, even with quite a low hit, with a fair bit of power, even though he had the short grip. So let's watch now as he goes forward. If you watch the circle there, you'll see him start to creep his fingers up. So he'll just work his fingers up the racket, and now he's using a very short racket. Now, most players, as I said, would actually lob this down the wall, because then you've got more time to get back into a better position as well. He's not going to hit a winner from here, so it really should be a case of lifting it up. This creates a smaller arc of swing, but it does lose power, and that's why the lob's often the go. So watch here, fingers go up the racket. Now there it is, and it's pretty simple to change it back to. You've got enough time after you swing and after you hit to be able to change your grip back to what it was, and there's no problems at all. That's changing your grip mid-rally, and if you actually tilt your wrist a little bit forward during prep towards the front wall, that'll give you a bit more flick in your wrist and help with power and control.